she was loved.
Several of us told her, you better watch who you're hanging out with.
By the time she realized she wasn't, it was too late.
The autopsy results were shocking.
She could have been homecoming queen, but instead of a crown on her head, she got a tag on her toe, and folks still want to know why.
Being beautiful is somewhat dangerous when you're in the presence of evil.
Eureka, Oklahoma, 1996. Cheerleaders and church picnics. The kind of place where parents know their kids are safe.
Everyone knows everyone, very much a close-knit community.
I always equated it to Mayberry, to a certain extent.
On the other hand, I'd been in Eureka at that time for close to 7 years, and I'd already covered 4 or 5 murders in this community. It was a changing community at the time.
Heather Rich wasn't born in Eureka. Her parents moved here to avoid the crime and danger of the big city, so Heather could be safe and happy. Like she is when she's cheering on the Eagles under the Friday night lights.
Heather was a very beautiful girl, a great body, beautiful eyes, beautiful smile, and she loved to talk to people. She loved to get out there and perform. She was not shy at all.
Well, she was real flirty. Heather liked the boys. The thing about being beautiful, people like you, people are attracted to you. Everyone wants to be beautiful. Eureka's no different in that respect as anywhere else.
Folks say beauty is as beauty does. Well, if so, Heather's beautiful in every way.
She would be friends with cheerleaders, football players, and she would also be friends with the outcasts.
I was the shy, smart kid that, frankly, not a lot of people talk to. She was the only popular girl who really genuinely seemed like she was trying to talk to me. She genuinely took an interest in every person around her.
Kids in school like Heather so much, it's a sure bet she'll be crowned homecoming queen.
In a small town, homecoming is a very big deal, so she was very excited to be on the homecoming court.
At first glance, it looks like Heather's got the world on a string, but you look real close. You just might see something behind those blue eyes. Something sad. Something lonely. Heather cuts herself in places that don't show. She's hurting, looking for something she's afraid might not be there. When you're 16, the world can seem just too big, even in a small town. She tries to find happiness in dating Randy Wood, a poor kid who worked hard and got to be captain of the football team. But they break up. Apparently, he isn't happy with all her flirting.
Randy seemed like a good guy. It always seemed to me like that Randy had really cared about Heather.
It's not too long before Heather trades up for Josh Bagwell. He's 17 and the richest kid in Eureka.
Josh definitely had money. He lived with his grandparents, and they were a huge part of the community. You know, very wealthy, the best car, the best clothes, all that good stuff.
I just couldn't believe that actually she would go off with a character like that, but he had the flashy car.
Josh and Randy are friends. Is Randy jealous? Folks can't tell, he's so quiet. Maybe that's why Heather broke up with him. And folks can only guess what Randy thinks when Heather shows up for his big game Friday, and she can barely walk straight.
It was the Friday night football game. Heather showed up with another friend, and we could just tell that something was off.
They were drunker than skunks. Heather and another cheerleader had alcoholic beverages that they were consuming out of styrofoam cups on the sidelines.
Small towns pray to two things, God and football. Well, not necessarily in that order. No matter how beautiful you are, you do not disrespect Friday Night Football.
I got the principal and we pulled them aside and got in touch with their parents. The penalty for their behavior was to be suspended from school. I had actually seen her on Sunday after the incident at the football game. And I was walking home from church and I sat down by her and I asked her how she was doing. And she goes, "I just don't want you to hate me." And I said, "Heather, there's not anything you could do that would ever make me hate you." And we left on a pretty good note with a big hug, and I went on my way, and I never saw her again.
Heather's tears don't take too long to dry. Josh Bagwell probably sees to that. Then on October 2nd, the night before she's supposed to go back to school, Heather gets a phone call. Her kid brother, Adam, listens in on that one.
Adam said that on the night of October 2nd, his sister received a phone call, and they had caller ID. Well, Adam could see that the call was coming from a payphone, and he could hear his sister say, "Oh, isn't that sweet?" Adam asked Heather who was that on the phone, and she said one of her girlfriends. But Adam thought that that was strange because he thought that she probably had been talking to a male rather than a female.
Heather won't say what the call's about, but the next thing she does is take a shower.
Normally, she showered and washed her hair when she got up in the morning to go to school. But they remembered this night, she showered and washed her hair before she went to bed. So she went to bed and asked them to please wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's if she went to bed, because even though Heather asks her folks to get her up for school, when her mom comes in the next morning, she's not there.
Now, the day Heather was supposed to return to school, she did not return. I thought initially that she was probably embarrassed and didn't want to face everyone that day. And then she was still missing.
The police chief isn't worried. He figures Heather just ran off after a dust-up with her folks, and she'll be back when she cools off. Heather's mom knows better and starts looking for her on her own. Randy Wood says he was out with Josh Bagwell till 6 in the morning. They each say they haven't seen Heather. It's like Heather fell off the edge of the earth.
I remember a few times turning around to talk to her, and then, without realizing she's not there until you see the empty space, and then you'd realize she's not in this class. And then it would trigger, well, where is she?
When we found out Heather was missing, it was just shocking, and everyone has a scenario.
Days go by and rumors fill up the empty space where Heather used to be. Maybe she's been killed by drug dealers. Maybe the hometown beauty's doing table dances in a strip club somewhere. Everyone wonders. Nobody knows.
This was a big story, and there was a lot of rumors going around. I had been chasing down some of them myself. When the life of a 16-year-old girl's on the line, you chase everything you can.
Meanwhile, just 25 miles from Eureka, over the border in North Texas, the Red River dribbles into the slow waters of Belknap Creek. Getting on towards dusk on October 9th, a farmer named Charles Kidwell crosses the bridge and sees something.
Charles saw what he thought was a dead animal floating in the creek. He had actually stopped and shot it with a .22 caliber rifle to try to sink it, thinking it was a dead calf.
But something nags at his mind, and in the morning light, he takes a second look.
It's immediately obvious it's a human body.
It doesn't take long for the sheriff's department to find something out of place on the bridge.
And there's a 3-foot by maybe 3-foot pile of dirt that is out of place on this concrete bridge. It was to cover up what we believe to be blood.
There's more blood in the creek, and the body's filled with bullets, not just from the farmer shooting. At first, the only thing certain is that it's a female.
We knew now it was a murder.
When I got to the Belknap Creek Bridge, they were putting something into the ambulance. At that time, I assumed it was a body.
There were so many things to think about because we didn't know who the victim was and didn't know how the victim had been murdered, and we didn't know who had committed the murder.
In Oklahoma, they're looking for Heather Rich. In Texas, they've got a dead body. Is there a connection between the beautiful Heather and the shot-up Jane Doe? The answer is going to tear the Eureka, Oklahoma community apart.